Welcome, welcome, boys. Well, it is that time of the decade again, where we have to do our coolant change in our Camaro. We do it decadely and semi-decadely. Every 5 years, in other words. We have to change the DexCool. Anybody with familiar GMs know what DexCool is? It's that orange stuff. And there she blows. And actually, this DexCool is not too bad. You can even, if you look really carefully, see the radiator fins down in there. So, unlike the Corvette, where it's like, is it rusty, is it not, because that's an iron block, this is all aluminum. So we know it ain't rusty. It's just orange. But it is 5 years old. So we're going to drain it and fill it. This procedure is going to be slightly different than the last video I did on this 5 years ago. And without having you go and watch it, the long and short of that video is, if you want to change every last molecule of old coolant in your vehicle, you drain it, which is what I'm about to do, and then fill it back up with distilled water only, start it and run it until the thermostat opens, and then takes all the now diluted coolant, which would be 25% coolant at that point, into the radiator, and then your now pure distilled water goes into the block. And then you would drain it again. Rinse and repeat until the water is mostly clear. Drain it out one final time, and then just put pure concentrated DexCool in there, and then you would have your roughly 50-50 mixture. But that's a long, painful process. That's what we did in the last video. So if you wanted to see that long procedure, you can watch that video. But if you want to do the quick way, which is what I'm going to do this time, we're just going to do a simple drain and fill. So here is our expansion tank, if you will. And if we could see, that's the level we need to be at. We're like the third notch from the top, right by the little thermometer sign. That's how much coolant is in it. And how this expansion tank guy works is, as you can see, this hose that's at the very top of the cooling system, when it finally starts to boil and expand and get up here, goes through this tube down into this reservoir. And then, of course, being sealed, once the coolant shrinks again, then it kind of sucks it back up down into the main cooling system. So that's your quick how this thing works. But we'll get to the underneath and we'll start the process now. Enough jibber jabber. Okay, and from the driver's side, you want to slither on underneath. And here is the petcock. See it right here. So when you unthread this, coolant's going to come out of this little nipple right here. So I would recommend getting a little hose to put up here so you can have a nice constant steady stream down into your pan. And this is the hose we got set up on that nipple. It's a spare hose I had laying around from Katie's Neon, I think, when the transmission got replaced and I replaced the radiator. We had to run some transmission cooling lines from transmission to radiator. I believe that's what this hose is from. It'll serve my purposes today. So we're just going to unthread our petcock here. Alright, this angle might work better, plus I can use my left hand to undo this petcock. Or at least I thought I could. Damn, this thing's really on there. Alright, giant channel lock time. Got your ass today, bitch. Oh, all of a sudden you aren't such a fucking hard ass anymore. Fucking petcock. I thought the lower hose was a pain in the ass to get off on the BMW. But there's our stream, so we will go ahead and jack up the other side so we can get more coolant. Okay, now you can see we have the passenger side jacked up. So the car is sitting at an angle, a few degrees higher on the passenger side. So we'll let it do its thing, and then we will make our mixture. Okay, so while that's taking a piss over yonder, we'll go ahead and mix our stuff. So we have our Prestone GM DexCool, our gallon of distilled water. And rather than just kind of pour a little bit of one and a little bit of the other, what I like to do is I save empty antifreeze jugs. Empty, empty. So I'll take half the water, pour it in here until it's halfway full, then take half the coolant, pour it in here, boom, I have that mixture, then take the remaining half of water, pour it in here, and then we have all the coolant we need. So we'll have 2 full gallons of it. And there is our 2 full gallons of 50-50 mix. And with the other spare empty ones I have now, we'll be able to recycle our used coolant, put that in, and then whatever spare ones we have, well, I usually save those for oil changes, so we'll do that as well. But see you back at the car once it's done taking a piss. Okay, boys, and to assist us in getting all the coolant out of the expansion tank here, we're using our little vacuum pump that we use for brake bleeding. And we have it inserted down there, and we're just going to do some sucky till we sucky all of it out. And that way we can get the most coolant out as humanly possible. Okay, and the final thing we're going to do is we're just going to see if there's any coolant that's kind of left in this block area that can come out. Now it would make more sense to jack up the ass end at this point, but I've never replaced a thermostat in this, so I'm not sure if it's of a design that has like a little hole drilled into it where some coolant can come from the block and get to the radiator more quickly, or if it's completely sealed and it's just running a bypass the whole time until the thermostat opens. I've never changed it. The car's only got like 31,000 miles on it. It hasn't been bad. So we're just going to pull this hose and see if any coolant comes out. So we'll try to recover as much as we can, so we don't make too much of a mess, but that way we can at least get every last molecule we can of coolant. So these are those normal type flex hose clamp dealios, where you just squeeze it, unlike the BMW's freaking bullshit design, those so-called quick disconnects. Okay, so after getting the hose clamp out of the way, do we have anything in here? We do. Made a bit of a mess. Could have been worse. Could have been better though. Okay, boys, we are buttoned back up. We've got our hose clamp reaffixed and our hose in position. I'll just dump some water in the area of where we had some coolant spillage on my car parts, frame, etc. And we recovered a little more than 2 gallons. And I say that because we have more than enough to fill it back up. I have 2 full gallons to the left of 50-50, and there's maybe half a gallon or less to the right there. And then what I recovered is 2 gallons, and as you can see, some change. But that is taken into consideration the fact that we did lose a wee bit on the ground. So I'd say you'd only need 2 gallons if you didn't take everything out of this reservoir, or you didn't undo that hose like I did. But if you want the full thorough or as thorough as you can get without doing the recirculation thing like last time. Get 2 gallons and some change. All right, petcock is reinstalled into position. Remember, it will be in the horizontal position. It will click into place. Once it does that, you're done. You can do it by hand, which now explains why it's so difficult to first undo, is because when you put it back in, it does click into place, which means there is some sort of retention on it, which is why I can't just unscrew it like I can by hand with the Town Car or the Crown Vic, or even the Vet for that matter. You need the pliers, and that's because it clicks into place. So keep that in mind, but you can do it barehanded back into position. So let's get to filling her up. And now, with nothing going to vibrate and fall off the engine when we start it, we'll go ahead and start her up and then let the water pump do its circulating. That'll suck some of that down, and then we can continue to add. So hopefully we don't have too much belt squeak on startup here on that AC belt. Alright boys, that's how we change the coolant in our 2010 Camaro SS with the LS3. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.